It's the last day of March in 2021. The year has passed from 2020 to 2021, and I've just left this ground to do what it wants during that time. It's been very wet, so I haven't been able to get the cultivator on it. I would have liked to do it a bit earlier, but we've had a very wet time. But this week is dry, very warm, and I've just spread a bit more of limey material on the surface. I'm just going over it once more with the cultivator. Then I'm going to rake the weeds off and sow some seed, I hope. Well, that isn't the finest of seed beds, but now I'm going to sow some wildflower seed at last. I don't have a whole lot of seed. I have this wildflower seed dual purpose mix, so it's meant to be annuals and perennials. I've got the oxeye daisy seeds, lots of them, that I collected last year with a bag of silica gel to keep them dry. I'm in there. And I've got some yellow rattle, which I don't think will work because it needs a frost on it, but you know, we may get frost. And yellow rattle obviously is the important one to have because it parasitises the grass and therefore keeps it a bit more at bay. And then I've got some fine sand from a children's playpen, because you mix this in and it helps you spread it more evenly. So finally it's sown, and the ground is quite damp because we had a lot of rain earlier, so that's good, and it's a slightly heavy soil, so should retain the moisture. We're in for a dry time now, hopefully not a drought like last year, but we'll check back in a month's time and see how it's doing. It's almost the end of June, and at last my wildflower meadow is showing some results. It's been a difficult season. It was dry after I sowed it and it didn't germinate too well. It's been cool and quite wet, and what we've got is a lot of a daisy-like plant. There's also oxeye daisies, which I actually planted, and there's some sunflower seedlings coming up. Again, I planted them, and at this end I put in these oxeye daisies and the foxgloves, but the rest of it has come from seed. So what we've got most of is this chap with the white flowers, similar to oxeye daisies, but the leaf is very different. And then we've got a few cornflowers, blue cornflowers, and we've got this yellow flower, and I'm hoping that maybe this chap here is a corn cockle, not yet in flower. It's now a few days later, the 17th of July, and this meadow has a bit of staying power. The white flowers that dominated earlier have now been taken over by the yellow corn marigolds, and there's quite a lot of blue cornflowers peeping up, and there's a butterfly there that's enjoying it, and the corn cockles are just coming out. Let's take a closer look. And these are the corn cockles coming out, and the bee there really enjoying it. And that's what looks like a hoverfly there. I really like the way these grasses have come just by chance. Well, I'm very pleased with this wildflower patch. It was worth the effort. It's given me several weeks of pleasure. Yeah, it was worth the effort. It was a lot of effort, all the preparation, but if I wanted to do it again next year, it would be much easier. I just have to Well, I'll probably cut this off with a strimmer when it dies back, but I'll leave the seed. Yeah, it's really good. It's past the middle of September now, and the wildflower meadow that has looked so good throughout the summer is now looking a bit tired, although there's still plenty of yellow flowers, and the blue cornflowers as well peep through a bit later. So it's been a pleasure for many months. But I'm ready to cut it down now. I'm fed up with it and want to get rid of it. But I'm going to wait a bit longer because I want a few more seeds to ripen and fall to the ground. It's now the 7th of November. A nice sunny day. But the wildflower meadow is looking very, very tired. There's just a few flowers left, but I think the time has come to trim it off. So let's go for it. So my new machine made very short work of that. It's called a scythe mower, and it has a cross-cutting blade like a hedge cutter, so it can cut very long and very thick material. Had I cut this earlier, I would leave it to lay a bit to let the seed fall out, but it's so dried up. I think the time has come to break it up now, because it's windy anyway and I don't want it to blow away. It wasn't possible to catch every bit in the first pass, so I'll just go over it again just to tidy it up. So when I've finished that, I'll just give it another rake and then leave it till the spring. We'll see you later. It certainly is a fabulous day. It's February the 8th, 2022, and this is the view of the wildflower patch now. Let's take a look from a different angle. A couple of weeks ago I started going over this again with the cultivator to break up the ground, and Alison raked off the lumps. There weren't too many, but I stopped when I got about 2/3 of the way, because I thought, well, I'll do an experiment. I'll see what comes up from last year. You can see on the left the bit that I haven't ploughed, and there's quite a lot of seedlings coming through and a fair bit of grass, and of course that's the problem. Too much grass will swamp the wildflowers that we want, but there are quite a lot of wildflowers, I think, so I thought I would wait and see, and in a couple of weeks I will again put some fresh seed on the part that I've cultivated, raking it first of course. But I think you've seen one whole cycle of the process, So that's it for now. Thank you for watching and goodbye.